Hello, everybody. I want to talk about the death of the family tree and when people cut ties, and it is been so magnified over the past 10 years. And I'm not just talking about my parental estrangement, but that of a multitude of people, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. It's pretty widespread. But I want to talk about just a note I took regarding parental estrangement today compared to 20 years ago. The one thing that no longer exists when it comes to parental estrangement is the guilt of withholding your children from their grandparents and their family tree. We had a certain toleration for putting aside our feelings for a period of time so your children could spend time with their grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, etc. And families are no different today than they were 20, 30, 50, 100 years ago. Even the Bible has strained family relationships. And so years ago, we had the wherewithal to be tolerant of others for the greater good of our children. And I'll talk about an experience I had when I was married and my children were little. So way back when I got pregnant, and it's a military thing. Then I got married, and when I got married to my first husband, I didn't know his family and he didn't know mine. We just seemed to get along really well and both had similar ideas, thoughts, feelings, and like the same music. And so we got married. Just told our family we're getting married, we're having a kid, and this and that, and having a baby. Sorry, a baby, because I'm not a mama goat. And so I didn't know his family, but they seemed okay. And when the phrase, when you know better, you do better. Well, I didn't know any better. So I'd never been married or never been pregnant. So, anyhow, we came home, visited with his family and mine, and I realized his mom would be a challenge. And I'm putting it nicely. I'm going to be kind. So, he had told me growing up that she had been an alcoholic and she hadn't been kind to him, and she would say very derogatory things to him, call him names and this and that, and I don't like that. I don't like anyone to say mean things to people, especially children. So really, I knew kind of what I was walking into. And so for the sake of my children, regardless, we were still around his parents, and they would be invited to visit with us and meet their grandkids and have a relationship with them, because I think it's really important in all families that children learn there are differences even between twins, sisters, brothers, cousins, even people that were raised by the same parents. We all have differences, and we learn how to be patient, kind, and understanding when dealing with people who are challenging. Plus, it's a really important learning lesson. Sometimes being around certain people, we could tell our children we don't treat people like this. It's not okay, and we will pray for them. So back then we were fairly tolerant of challenging people. And today you have sons and daughters, adult men and women, who are cutting their parents off and then cutting everyone else off who is still associated with said parent. They go so far as to pull their children from established relationships with their grandchildren. Some grandparents who have raised their grandchildren, the ones who have had overnights with them, vacations with them, who were there in delivery room, first birthday, first steps, the parents that have supported their sons and daughters. And so, I don't know about you, but I'm so glad that even if I didn't have a good relationship with my mom, my children still had a relationship with her, and they knew her and they called her grandma. I don't know if it's because I was raised in church, honor your mother and father. I have no idea. But I think it's really, really, really sad when an individual punishes their children because they don't get along with their parents. How do you look in the eyes of your children and tell them they will no longer see grandma and grandpa again? Or you lie to your children and tell them their grandparents are dead. I don't know about you, but I would hate to keep that secret. Even my oldest daughter, I was pregnant in the military, and she always knew, even though I married someone else who signed the birth certificate, she always knew she had a biological father. And when she was around 10 years old, she met him. So I never kept secrets from my kids. Why? Because we just didn't keep family secrets. So, anyways, I don't know. You can do what you want, but that's what I wanted to talk about today. And whether it helps someone or not, I don't know. It might. Um, but don't punish your children. If you say you love your children, allow them to know the people that brought you into this world. I know some moms and dads are really challenging. Sometimes mom is a drug addict, sometimes dad is in prison, and it may not be possible for them to be around them because it's not necessarily safe. But if you can find a way to allow your son and daughter to meet their grandparents in a safe setting around other family members, maybe at a family party where you have support, do it. Don't hold secrets because I guarantee you one day your kids are going to find out and they're going to say why. And if they meet their grandparents and they like their grandparents, it's going to be tough. So, anyways, that's all I've got, and I'll be back.